Supercomputers are the world's largest and fastest computers. They allow researchers to do complex scientific calculations.
The San Diego Supercomputer Center at the University of California, San Diego is home to some of the most powerful supercomputers in the world. These resources are used to solve many difficult problems of modern science. Problems ranging from the workings of the human ear to the effects oceans have on our climate can all be solved with the assistance of high-speed computers.
Hi, I'm April Bailey.
And I'm Zach Schumann.
We would like to take you on a tour of one of the world's premier research facilities to see the machines and meet the people that make solving these problems possible.
First, let's meet David Pierce. He's a climate scientist here at the Scripps Institute of Oceanography. David, can you tell us about some of the interesting ocean research you were doing?
Yeah, right now I'm doing some simulations looking at how the ocean affects the climate. I can't predict the surf, but we can learn a great deal about the ocean atmospheric system by doing such simulations. As you can see on my screen, right now I'm looking at some visualizations of the ocean data. These simulations are the first step to understanding the climate, which eventually will help us predict it. This laptop has a wireless connection to the supercomputer where I'm carrying out my calculations.
The Blue Horizon at San Diego Supercomputer Center is the system that David's climate prediction research calculations are taking place on.
Let's go to SDSC now and see the machines that have the ability to make these computations.
Hi, David.
The heart of SDSC is right in there, the machine room. That's where all the supercomputers are kept. Now let's go talk to an operator who helps run the machine room.
Hi, John. How you doing?
Hi, April. How you doing?
Oh, great.
How's it going?
All right.
Can you tell us a little about the work you do here?
Yes. I'm a senior computer operator here at the San Diego Supercomputer Center, and I help maintain the backups and make sure that all the systems are up and running. We're here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and at least 2 operators are here in the machine room at any particular point in time.
Can you tell us about the screen here?
Yeah, this right here is our intermapper. If you noticed on the screen right here, we have different little windows that are green. When they turn red, this means the machine is down. And what we do there is we call the proper instructor or the CE or the person who's on call to come and bring the machine back up.
Can you show us the machine room now?
Why, sure.
All right.
Desktop computers have one processor each. But supercomputers have hundreds and sometimes thousands of processors.
This over here is the Cray T90 and the Cray T3E. And this over here is the Terra. This is IBM's Blue Horizon. It has 1,152 processors. It has the ability to calculate 1 trillion numbers in 1 second.
1 trillion numbers in 1 second?
Imagine if you had the computer compute for 1 second and print a number on a separate piece of paper for each computation. This would create a stack of paper that is 62,000 miles tall, 1/4 of the way to the moon. If it were physically possible, the Blue Horizon could stack paper to the moon in 4 seconds.
Right now, the computer is running a simulation to predict the weather. What would take days on a desktop computer, it will take seconds on the Blue Horizon.
Well, thank you for showing us the machine room, John.
Yeah, thanks.
Having the most powerful computers in the world and fast networks requires very intricate security.
And Tom Perrine is the man when it comes to security at SDSC.
Let's go pay him a visit right now.
Tom.
Hi.
How you doing?
Hi, Tom.
Do you have a moment to tell us how you keep SDSC resources safe?
Sure. The focus on computer security here is protecting the privacy of our users. They really have information that they care about, and we try to make sure that they're not bothered by hackers.
So what do you do when you see someone breaking in?
Hopefully they don't actually break in, but we try to catch them while they're trying, and then we trace them back through the internet. We can usually find out their home computer.
Wow, okay. Well, thanks.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Sure.
The internet is actually a network of networks intricately organized to what is known as the infrastructure.
To get a clearer understanding of the internet, let's go talk to Casey Claffey.
She's a researcher who studies the global internet infrastructure.
Hey, Casey.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hi.
Do you have a moment to tell us a little bit how information travels through the internet?
Sure. Well, the internet's actually a little bit like a telephone network in that placing a phone call actually involves a lot of different companies carrying the transaction between you and the person you're calling. On the internet, sending a piece of email or downloading a web page also involves a lot of different companies. We actually have a graphic over here, a poster, that I can show you some of the complexity. This is a poster that shows some of the complexity of the internet. Each of these dots corresponds to a different internet company that's involved in you sending email or downloading a web page. Now often, many different companies are going to be involved in any single transaction on the internet. We've drawn the dots here so that the larger ISPs, internet companies, are located toward the center, and the smaller ones out here. And then we've drawn them around the circle corresponding to where they're located in the world. So this pie slice corresponds to ISPs, internet service providers, in the United States and the rest of North America. This pie slice corresponds to Europe, and this pie slice is Asia. The white areas, where there aren't many ISPs or many websites, correspond to the oceans of the world.
So, for example, if I was to send an email from San Jose to, say, San Diego, it's not necessarily going to go from computer to computer, but it would actually travel to a completely separate computer before it reaches its destination?
Yes, in fact, it's probably going to go through several ISPs, and probably big ones, unless it's a very local transaction on the same campus or something. That's correct.
Thanks, Casey.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Now let's go meet some scientists that use graphical data to conduct their research.
Supercomputers enable scientists to generate data very quickly, but sometimes just looking at numbers isn't very helpful. Creating images from the data can allow scientists to see patterns that may not be obvious.
Visualization can help us examine things from as big as a galaxy to something as small as a molecule, not to mention everything in between like earth science, biology, and neuroscience.
Now let's go meet Kim Baldridge, a computational chemist, and Mike Bailey, a visualization scientist, and talk to them about the graphical research they use in relation to human data. Hi, Mike. Hi, Kim.
Hi, April. Hi, Zach. Come on in.
Kim, could you tell us how you use visualization tools to assist in your research?
Sure. A large part of what I do here at the center in terms of research has to do with understanding the function and operation of the human body from various aspects, from how the brain might function to how the heart might pump, down to how the molecules in the bloodstream might take a molecule to a certain spot and interact with a certain structure. And these kinds of calculations require the supercomputer, and as such they generate a lot of data. And in order to be able to see something like this, which you can't normally see with the human eye, you would have to look through lots and lots of numbers. And instead of doing that, what we do is we use visualization techniques to transform a molecule, a very small item that you can't see with the naked eye, into something you can see. This is just a particular molecule that transforms from a bowl to another bowl through a flat structure. So this is a process that occurs naturally, and in order to see that, we have to have visualization. And in particular, we use a lot of techniques that Professor Bailey has designed to take the graphical output of the computer and transform it into something we can see. And now Mike is going to show us another aspect of exploring data using visualization software and hardware.
We use visualization to explore data. We all like to say that computational science isn't about making numbers, It does, but it's not about that. What it's about is making insights into data. And so, for instance, if you look at the model of this human head here on the graphics screen, we can look at it in 3 dimensions. And we're able to display this, we're able to move around and look at it in different views. But the neat part about this is we can explore it. For instance, we can make the outer part of it transparent and peek to the inside. And there we can see things like the brain and the eye sockets. We can also start to strip away the outside so that we can see just the skull. And here you can start to see some of the really interesting parts of the human skull. Here's the spinal column. You can see the teeth, the eye sockets, all the cavities inside the head. This kind of data is very characteristic of medical data. Anytime somebody gets an MRI scan or a CAT scan, it produces a 3D cloud of points. We use graphic systems like this to display those 3D clouds of points. What we hope to do in the future is to provide tools like this for people in the medical field to do better diagnoses, to be able to plan surgeries better, things that they can't really do right now.
Wow, cool.
That's amazing. Now let's go meet John Moreland in the visualization lab.
The laboratory.
Yeah, come on, Igor. Hi, John.
Hi. Nice to see you.
Hi, John.
Hi there.
Can you tell us a little about what you do here in the Viz Lab?
Sure. SDSC's Scientific Visualization Laboratory is about helping users use computer graphics to make sense out of large, complex data sets. In this facility, we have lots of hardware and software to help us make images, animations, and interactive computer graphics. The process of using these tools to take data and transform it into imagery is really what scientific visualization is all about.
Can you show us some of the tools that you use to create these images?
Well, first, the most important tool is your brain. It's what we start with to figure out what techniques, hardware, and software we'll use to create our imagery. There's lots of techniques we can actually use to create the images. Image warping enables us to take a digital picture and stretch it to fit over the data like a rubber sheet. For example, we can take a satellite image and stretch it over the terrain data of the San Francisco Bay Area. That way we can see things like roads right on top of steep hills and so on. Texture mapping allows us to make a computer-generated environment look more realistic. For example, we can take very simple shapes like boxes and use texture mapping to make them look like buildings in a city. We can even use techniques like environment mapping to simulate real materials like chrome.
So you've told us a little about the visualization techniques that you use, but what about the hardware that you use here?
Good question. In addition to the software we've discussed, we also use some special hardware to help us understand the imagery as well. We have a tiled display which enables us to see as much as 10 times more information at the same time compared to a normal computer monitor. The access grid enables scientists to communicate images, animations, and their voice over the internet so they can share information with each other. The fake space boom enables us to enter virtual worlds and interact. All of this hardware, software, and visualization techniques enable scientists to understand how the world works and how to solve very difficult problems.
Well, thanks for showing us the Viz Lab, John.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah, thanks, John.
It's amazing how creating a 3D object to hold and examine can tell you so much more than just a computer-generated graphic.
I know, I didn't realize visualization played such an important role in science. That was really interesting.
But seeing the blue horizon in person, that was intense.
I know, but I thought it was especially cool to meet all of the different scientists and learn how they use supercomputers to do their research. However, there is one person that would really make our tour complete.
I know just who you mean, Peter Arsberger, the executive director of SDSC.
Exactly. He's the one responsible for making sure that SDSC meets all of our goals in the scientific community.
Well, let's go pay him a visit right now.
Okay.
Hi, April. Nice to see you again.
Hi, Peter.
Hi, Zach. How are you doing?
We've met several scientists today that benefit from the resources here at SDSC. Could you tell us how other researchers benefit from the resources here as well?
Sure, I'd be happy to. We have a facility that's used by, in fact, researchers from around the country and also in other parts of the world, from both the small molecular level of biology, trying to understand how various diseases happen and how drugs can be designed to prevent those types of diseases, all the way up to people that study the stars and astronomy to understand how the origins of the universe started, as well as how various galaxies come together, collide, and move on.
Could you tell us a little bit about the work that you do?
Sure. My area of interest is environmental sciences. I think it's one of the most pressing problems that faces the world today. And what I find extremely interesting about it is that it needs to bring together a host of expertises. We're going to need expertise from the people that understand the chemistry, from the people that understand the biology, from the people that understand databases, as well as the people that understand the social impact of all of these things. And I think what's interesting is to be able to bring all of those people together and have them work on a very important problem for us in society.
Well, thank you, Peter. We appreciate your time.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Before we conclude, we'd like to mention that students like you participate in an internship program here, and we have partnerships like this one all over the country.
And if you are interested in gaining experience or learning more about computing and science, please contact SDSC.
We hope you enjoyed your tour.
Yes, thank you for joining us. You know, it's amazing how having, you know, it's, you know, it's amazing how,
Happy.
Hello. Peter Arsbury, the Executive Director of SDSC.
Exactly. He's the one responsible for making sure that SDSC meets all of its goals in the community of science.
That one sucked anyway.
Sorry.
Yeah, but seeing the blue horizon in person, that was intense.
I know. Shoot. It's okay.
Okay.
Check.
Hey, air bubbles up on my gums.
He's filming.
You know, it's amazing how creating a 3D object to hold and examine can tell you so much more about... About what? I don't know how I should say this at the time. The heart of the machine room is right in there. That doesn't sound right. The heart of the machine room is right in there.
I'm messing up.
I'm like,
oh, come on, great. Let's go look. Go back.
yeah.
Wait, I'm supposed to say, yeah.
Wow, cool. Where are you going?
Let's go meet John Moreland now in the visualization lab.
Visualization lab.
Before we can... Why'd I start over? What happened?
What happened?
Thanks for joining us on our tour. Sorry. I'm sorry, I forgot to wait. All over the country.
And if you are experienced, give me a call.
We hope you enjoyed our tour.
Yes, thanks for joining us on our tour of the SDSC.
Sorry. I totally messed up on that one.